Many times people ask me, I think National Herald, your paper there also, call me a philosopher of some sorts. But anyway, teacher I am not because I have no teaching, number one. Teaching is something which you will apply, use, to bring about a change in you and a change around the world. So that reels me out as a teacher because I maintain, emphasize and you overemphasize all the time that there is nothing there to be changed. When once the demand to bring about a change in you, the demand to change the world will largely also comes in. So that is the answer. The teaching implies that I give you a teaching, use that to bring about a change. Since there is nothing there to be changed, there is no teaching.
What about within you? Outside of it,
there is nothing there to be changed. That's what I have found. That's what I have discovered. For centuries we have been made to believe that there is a self to realize. And in recent times, fashionable teachers talk of radical transformation and the mutation of mind. I question that, you see, that there is nothing there to be transformed radically. And there is no mind there. So to talk of the mutation of mind, radical mutation, is not they may succeed in pulling you, taking you on the right line. There is no such thing as a mountain. So to talk of mutation of mind, radical or otherwise, has no meaning.
Is there a body then?
Even body is created by the mind. So there is no way you can experience what you take for granted that there is this body and the world around it is created by your thoughts. So I maintain that the thoughts are not self-generated and they are not spontaneous. So you find analysis there are no thoughts. There is a noise out there. You translate that into the framework of your knowledge and say that this is noise produced by an automobile. Otherwise, there is no separation from that noise. What separates you from that noise is the thought. You separate yourself from the sound. So otherwise, the response, that stimulus, the stimulus and the response, that sound, there is no way you can separate it. The moment this thought comes into the picture, it separates you from the sound. It creates, you see, a mechanism. This has no interest in translating that as something that is nice, something that you should listen to, something that you should never. So all they talk about is the noise disturbing is sensitivity to this body. Sensitivity of the nervous system is not correct because when once that sound hits this body and it has above a certain amount of decibels, that's how you measure it cuts out that sound, so that sound cannot harm or destroy the sensitivity of the nervous system. This living organism, body, whatever you want to call it, is interested only in maintaining the sensitivity of the body. That is part of the survival mechanism. So that cannot destroy. It does not mean that I'm suggesting that you should sit close to it and enjoy that sound or it is sensitive. It does not differentiate that noise and the music. That's why I say, music is nothing, no different from the noise, the barking of the dogs, or hurrying of the cats.
It is some rhythm to it.
The rhythm is created by you.
It's also intrinsic in the
that is not created.
No,
that is created by you. The rhythm is not there. That is a cultural input. The cultural input. All tastes are cultivated through the help of the cultural input. Otherwise, you cannot say that it's music. You cannot avoid that and then you listen to some music. The brain is not a creator. It has no creative quality at all. It is only a reactor. It reacts to the sensory activity. And we don't even know where the memory is, what memory is, you may say that they are neurons. The translation of a particular sensation within the framework of your knowledge, which is memory. It becomes meaningful, it becomes sensible. Even if you reject that, it is also born out of the translation. So what are you after all? You are a memory. It is your memory that tells that that's a noise which should be avoided for the simple reason that it will destroy the sensitivity of your body. Just the way I ramble. Many people find it very difficult to make any sense of my interviews. The Omni magazine interview. And the lady has prepared 10 versions, and the editor is still not satisfied with the 11th version of her interview with me. Because you cannot fit into any frameworks, in any categories. That's the difficult part of it.
Where do you think you should?
I really don't know. I have to leave those who come to listen to me to figure it out for themselves and by themselves. Nobody has succeeded in putting me in any particular stage. It's not that I feel superior to all those people who have been categorized and easily put in cages. But there is no way you can put me in any framework for the simple reason that whatever I'm trying to put across is one that is destroying the reference point. What you are left with is something which you have to figure out. There is no way you can figure out what I'm trying to do.
But don't you want to communicate something?
Communication is possible only within that framework. Are we communicating? Is there any communication between individuals? Don't say that when the communication comes to an end, there is a communion. No communication is possible on any level, and no communication is necessary, except in the area where it is necessary to communicate on a very, very simple level. Communication, if you call me, ask me what is this, I would say, the first thing that comes into my head is Gunjit, because I grew up in Madras. Then you see the Hindi word comes last. I have strong prejudice against Hindi. I don't want to use Hindi words. And then comes Telugu, and then I ask somebody, what do you call this in the Kannada? They say it is Uyala. So that is it. This is the referent. And it's very easy to communicate, but there is no way you can experience the reality of anything. Even the things which we take for granted, there is no way you can experience the reality of anything. So that is why I now found the whole foundation of ultimate reality. There is no such thing as ultimate reality. But we have to accept the reality of the world as it is imposed on us by our culture or by our society. Otherwise, we will end up in it.
Any message to
whom? So the individuals and to the world at large. I was telling her, do you have any messages? Say, get lost and stay lost.
But then if you don't have any message, why you talk to
By the way, no, you have come here. I am not invited you, have I? She has come of her own free will and volition. She assumes that I am something that she is not. I am all the time telling them I am not anything that you are not. So she thinks that I am different, and I have no way of finding out what is she. I have no image of myself, so I cannot have any image of her. This is really the problem. This is what I am trying to tell. It is your assumption that I am something different from her. So what is it that makes her think that I am different? It is the thinking that makes her that she is different from me, that I am different from her. That's the only way she is trying to establish any relationship. So I have no image of myself, so I do not have any image. So I do not tell myself any time that I am a free man, and so I am here to free you, that I am a message of man. What is wrong with this world? I don't see anything wrong with this world. It is all the utopias, the ideas we have, the idea of building a heaven on this earth that has turned what is already a paradise, nature's paradise, into a monstrous hell. So what is it that you can do to change this. Anything you are doing, change this is adding momentum. What we have to do is to free ourselves from the idea of creating heaven on this. So I have an idea of my own heaven, you have an idea of your own heaven, she has an idea of her heaven of the God. That is the conflict between these heavens that each one of us, collectively or individually, try to create on this. The planet is not in danger. We are in danger. Why we are in danger? Because we have separated ourselves from the totality of life around us. And what is responsible for that is the religious thinking of man. Religious thinking turned you into a frightened chicken because you are separated from the totality of life around us. And so you are trying to establish this relationship with that. So this fear is born, God, the truth, the reality, enlightenment, and all the messages have come out of that fear. There was a time when we could not control fire, we could not control rain, we could not manage the wind. So we turned them all into gods and worship them. It is too silly and idiotic to think in terms that wind is a god, fire is a god, something else is a god. We are not able to control the fire to some extent, but still the hazards of fire are there. So there is no point in worshiping fire as God or the wind as God or the rain as there. But see, both things is born out of the fear of not finding ourselves in comfort, visiting the world around us. And also we are made to believe that we are born for something, higher and grander purpose. Man, human species are not created for any grander purpose than any other species on this planet. And also we have been made to believe that the whole creation is for the benefit of man. So whatever you discover in the laws of nature, whatever you discover in the functioning of the human body, ultimately we are using it for the destruction of the body. There is no use creating a ministry of ecology here. You will be out of job tomorrow. You have to stop publishing your magazine. You have to begin there. I'm not for a moment saying that what will happen to those people, those who are addicted to reading newspapers. Even if you plant eucalyptus trees here, eucalyptus trees absorb tremendous amounts of water from the planet here. And here you are creating more problems there. They are planting ordinary trees for the... So how is it possible for you to resolve the problems of ecology? You can create a ministry, you can create all that is absolute rubbish for themselves. It's a tremendous problem. That's the only problem that mankind is faced today, the ecological problem. It's not an easy thing. You can start a group of ecologists, shoot all those ecologists on site and site because they are not really interested in solving. They are singularly incapable of dealing with a tremendous problem which we have created out of this feeling that the whole thing is created for our benefit. No other problem. If you are really interested in solving. So all the governments have put all their resources. We mean to say that they are going to spend any money. I always point out to those people that I have shares. Like actually I don't have shares in General Motors and Ford company. I'm interested in my dividends. I don't give a damn for this production here. Many of those people who own the cars don't realize that they themselves are contributing. I'm not for a moment suggesting that we should eliminate all these cars or any such thing. It's a talk, meaningless talk. Why should you be impressed by the creation of a ministry? That is there, you have to start somewhere. It's a tremendous problem. Everything you are doing, adding to the momentum of the destruction of the human species. The planet is not interested. The planet will be greatly benefited by the whole removal of all the species of life because it can recycle them to maintain the energy level. So that's all it is interested. We are responsible. Individually responsible. So you will be out of job, all the schools must be closed, all the libraries should be closed, the whole printing industry has to be shot. There is no need for us to go on with this kind of thing. You know that they are selling in Australia a small disc which the whole Encyclopedia Britannica is put. You have to buy a special kind of a television to read or listen to what it is. Where is the need need for you to go on publishing those encyclopedias. All the textbooks should be out. So what will happen to the publishing industry? What will happen to the newspapers? They all have a vested interest. So don't listen to anybody who talks of the problem of equality. Everybody, he uses his marketing. He is contributing. I am flying, I am contributing. There is no way you can reverse the whole thing. For political reasons you can talk. You see, take advantage of the paranoia of the human beings that the whole thing is going to be wiped out and exploit them and strengthen your position in the power base. It may sound very cynical, but the cynic is a realist. His feet are very firmly fixed on the ground. He is pointing out what the reality of the situation is. If we are really interested in creating a situation where we can survive, the whole thing has to change. Who is interested in change? Any politician who is interested in winning votes talks of the great heritage of India. The great heritage of India is responsible for all the problems that we are facing today. The religious thinking of man is responsible for the problems we are facing today. We are not ready to accept it. I'm not for a moment suggesting that we should all become atheists and preach atheism. Atheist is still related to God. But at least the atheists have not done anything to destroy it. In the name of God, my God, how many millions of people have been killed? Women, children, using God as the instrument of destruction. God becomes very angry. Anytime anybody talks of God, I mean, not literally. Religion is not going to help us at all. Religion is responsible for all. Every time a spiritual teacher comes, he is adding momentum to that. This is a terminal case. You are only aggravating them and also adding the agony by talking. Anybody, anytime says that he has answers to the human problem, go back to your religion, go back to the great traditions, back to Christianity. No, you have to solve the problems within the framework of the situation we find ourselves. That's what I tell those people, the scientists, the psychologists. You have to find answers. You have come to the end of your health. You have to find out answers within that framework, but not look to the religious standpoint. We have unfortunately created a void now. That's why I call Gorbachev traitor because of communism. He has let loose forces that will destroy the country, whole country. When once the Muslims rise, there is no way we can actually stop it. Just open the can of worms. But communism no doubt has failed. But the void created by those people will be taken advantage by the fundamentalists. The Russian Orthodox Church will step in there and tell them that we have an answer. They don't have any answer there. The great heritage of India has no answers either for India or for the world at large. You can go and exploit the Americans. They are all fools there. They believe, swallow everything that you see comes from outside. They have a flourishing business, money business, but they are not the ones who can help the world. If your heritage cannot solve the problems of this country, how the hell is it to help the whole world? It has to work here. Show me the results. Where are the products of the great heritage? The holy man is sitting next to me. They may not like what I'm saying, but that's the reality of the situation. Who is interested in the world? I want to know. Are you really interested? I'm not asking you. Is he really interested in the world? Not at all.
Maybe not the world, that is our own environment.
The world does not. This is the reality of the situation. We are in great danger. Don't tell me that the planet is in danger. The planet is not in danger. What are we doing? That's the only problem, overriding problem, which this humanity has to face today. That means you have to throw everything that we have considered sacred out of that way. They have no answers. Because it's that has created the problem. You think that we are created for a grander purpose. Manava Java Dharlapa. He repeats every day. Why is it so important? He is the one that has destroyed everything in nature. It is possible to feed 12 billion people on this planet without the help of the high-tech and technology. Why is there starvation? The holy man is responsible by telling him that it is his product. An easy way of not doing anything. Charity is the most vicious and vulgar thing that the religious man has thought about and offered.
What about something like monetary charity?
I don't want to say anything. You give her a Nobel Prize and put an end to her activities. This is what we have done. What she did, wonderful work in the early days of religion. She's interested in leaving behind it tremendous real estate, as it has happened in all the religious institutions. We are stuck with the real estate and the money. So somebody else will step in and organize the whole thing. The cause is destroyed, for which all these organizations. That happens everywhere. They collect money, 90% of their collections consumed by the administration. What is left is 10%. No? Is it worthwhile doing all that? You may call me a cynic, it doesn't matter to me. But as one who has seen the whole world, who has lived with murderers, rapists, con men, religious men, enlightened men, who has seen the whole world, every part of the world, has something to say. If you want to listen, you listen. If you don't mind, it's your business. That's why I live with murderers. Huh? Where did you live? I live with murderers. You know, murderer is a more reliable man than a truth-speaking man. He is ready to destroy everything in the name of truth. But you see, murderer will not let you down. Murderer? Certainly not. This is, you know, the do-gooders high he feels. The religious man is a truthful man. You know, for the sake of truth, he is ready to destroy everything. That is, he feels good.
Are you sure that in your name funds are not being collected in
I don't have any funds. Not in my lifetime. It will destroy the very thing that I am saying. If I have to make money, I will be a competitor to you. Be careful. You don't have any chance.
How can you be sure?
I'm certain, you see, I'm certain, you see, that I can be a better journalist. I'm not making fun of you or anything. You know, I'm more informed than most of these journalists. I tell you something, see, why I lost faith in all these pundits, you know, like Walter Lippmann, James Preston. During the war, I subscribed to the Time magazine in 1939. I've been a reader of the Time magazine for almost how many years? And during the war, we used to get it once in every 6 months. We were following the course of the events of the war on the BBC and the newspapers. All those pundits, top journalists, predicted the course of the events of the war. And actual events of the war, we just put them in juxtaposition. They didn't know what they were talking about. So why have faith in these fellows? No better than you see all these religious people predicting the future of man. So I lost faith in all these. They are very powerful, see. Sharp people who admire the sharpness but their evaluations. Predicting is talking about the course of events was no different from, you see, the taxi driver. Everybody has a big made there has our own opinions. Why you give importance to the opinions of the chief politician? Because he's in the seat of power. You know, we put him in the seat of power, and once he's in power, seat of power, see, he will not dare do anything to hold on to the power. Not only that, we give him powerful instruments of destruction. So he uses them to destroy humanity. Just stay in the seat of power. So naturally he has to share the power. For the sake of staying in the seat of power, they have got any extent to destroy life and property. So don't trust those people if they say that we are here for peace. Where is peace on this planet? The peace between the two wars. Iraq and this. I don't know what you can make out of this. I'm giving a lecture. It's not an introduction. You will find it difficult to make sense. Any other questions?
What is the purpose of life? You say that.
Why should there be any purpose?
So we just exist.
Huh?
We just exist.
Are you ready to accept that?
Yeah.
What tremendous amount of energy you are wasting find out the purpose and the meaning of life. Because you don't see any purpose in any meaning in your life, meeting it with people, interviewing people, writing this is a bore. Everything is a bore. Belongs. It becomes a bore when you think there is something more interesting, more purposeful, more meaningful that you can do than what you are doing. That is consuming tremendous amounts of energy. If that amount of energy is released and is available, what is it that you cannot do? So even a 90-year-old man comes and asks the question, what is the meaning, what is the purpose? It's a joke. He has lived 90 years and he asks the question, what is the meaning and purpose of life? If you haven't found the meaning and purpose of life, in the 90 years of your, when the hell you are going to find out the meaning? There may not be any purpose. You don't see any purpose. When they talk of life, it is not the abstract thing called life. Living. Living, you see, is the relationship with the people around you, the relationship with the world around you. Living with yourself is the problem. You cannot live with yourself because there are two things here. This is the way you should live. This is the way you think. That's why I always say, is there anything you want other than what they wanted us to want? Is there anything you can think other than what they wanted us to think? This is the basic question which obsessed me. Is there anything I want other than what they wanted me to want? Is there anything I want to think other than they wanted me to think? You know, it drives you crazy. So even this want, not to want what they wanted me to want, is the most difficult thing for me to handle. It drives you crazy. If you really want an answer, anything I want means I have to use those wants to think. So there may not be any, this becomes meaningless because you have an idea that there is such a thing as meaning of life, purpose. There may not be. This is not, what else is it? This is living its own life with a tremendous intelligence of its own. Our idea is responsible for turning us all into neurons. It creates two things. There is no such thing as an individual. We are all created by the same culture. And at the same time, those yoga stem cells, they tell us that there is possible for you to be an individual. They have turned us all into neurotics. And without that neurosis, there is no way you can survive in this world. So they educate us to fight your way in this world. What do you do in such a situation? There is no way you can survive in this. That neurosis is absolutely essential. And the spiritual joker comes along and tells you that there is a way out. The problem is to fit ourselves into the value system created by our culture. It's born out of the religious thinking of man. And the difficulty, the impossibility of fitting ourselves into that value system is the cause of man's suffering and is the cause of man's tragedy. There is no way you can free yourself from it. There is no way you can function in this world outside of the value system. You can change one value system with another value system. Even those in Russia and other communist countries, they created another value system. Your legal structure, your value system, everything is born of the religious thinking of man. There is no way you can free yourself from that.
How do you live away from the value system?
Then you are not in conflict. And once you realize that there is no way you can free yourself from the value system, and that is all that is there, you are not in conflict. You are in conflict with that system. That is why you are missing. And others who have given up, they have given up. You call them mental patients and push them to be functional and push them to suicide. That's all that is happening. So when once this is understood, the value system is responsible for false living of the soul. You are not in conflict. I am not in conflict. So the world cannot be anything different. If I am interested in changing the world, it's only because I want to be somebody in that. The world of today cannot be segregated. There are many depressive individuals. All creative thinking is born of many depressive individuals. All religious teachers from time immemorial are con men. They con themselves, believing that they were here to change the world, the face of this earth, and con us all. The tragedy of us all is that we allow ourselves to be conned by them. Then you will cease to con yourself and cease to con your fellow beings. It's not a question of killing, you see, all the religious teachers, burning all the temples, burning all the scriptures. They are worthless.
How do you tell the common man that? How do you tell the common man, the person who is illiterate? He thinks the church is the answer to all his problems.
Yes, you see, he will be. There is no way you can reverse the whole thing. That's all that I'm saying. We are doomed. There is no way you can reverse this. Anytime anybody says that I have the message for mankind, I am the avatar, take that bastard, throw him out. Down the drain. He creates another organization, another temple, another teaching. Add one more. The rest of it is already there. Don't ask me what is the answer. Do you want an answer? Individually you can find an answer. So you will be a threat to that. A man who is, I don't want to use the word man. If you are at peace with yourself, such a person is a threat to mankind. Because their idea of peace is different. They will destroy a man who is a person who is at peace with himself. That's not the kind of peace they want. They want the peace between the two walls. Same thing you see here also. Anybody who meditates is caught up in this wall between two things. What he experiences there, the peace of mind, is war weariness. So that's why I maintain that meditation is not only evil. The damage it does is irreparable. The damage done by alcoholism, drugs, nicotine poisoning is a lot easier to deal with than the damage caused by the religious techniques that are offered to us.
Meditation doesn't harm anyone.
It does in the long run. It does in the long run. It does in the long run because it will destroy the mind and the identity. All spiritual institutions are created to strengthen and fortify the identity. Saying that you see you function differently on a different level, on a spiritual level. But that is the very thing that is going to destroy it because it's a self-centered activity. All the do-gooders feel good, you see, that they are doing some kindly things to their fellow being and they feel good and win some brownies. They don't realize that all social activities are part of self-centered. Sorry, sir.
So what should we do? We should just...
What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't mean you. What are we doing, tell me?
We're living a daily life.
Daily life is goes on. That's all that you are interested in. Where you will get bread, where you will... Yes. This is unnecessary. You see, half the population thrive on belief and the other half on crime. Every politician is a criminal. He doesn't deliver goods. In the business world, if he doesn't deliver the goods, that's the end of it. The holy man can get away, promising you all kinds of fantasies. The tyranny of religion. I'm not for a moment suggesting that you should destroy what harm it has done, you see. But don't let the harm to continue.
At least to ourselves.
To ourselves. The world, we don't forget. The world is not waiting for us. We are not called upon to save it. We leave it to the avatars, we leave it to the politicians. If they destroy the world, we go with it. Hallelujah. That's enough, I suppose. The rest of it, you can pick up. Nobody will leave this. It's a danger, it's a threat, it's a terrorist. Some of my friends call me, address me, dear terrorizer. Not a terrorist, terrorizer. Instead of calling me dear friend, dear, usually dear terrorizer. Don't terrorize people. What, sir? Now what have you to say? Your Holiness. You can send self-Sankara, self-Buddha, sell a prostitute. That's my idea. Respect.
Peace with yourself.
I never know. I am not seeking peace, searching peace.
At least he is not in conflict with himself.
Yeah.
I don't know what peace is. I will never know.
But you're happy, man.
I don't know what happiness is like, so I can never be unhappy. A relentless quest for happiness, permanent happiness, and that is the one that keeps you unhappy. And the religious people come and tell you that there is eternal happiness, permanent peace, selling you shoddy piece of goods which they cannot tell. They put you on a merry-go-round. You go on and on until some lucky situation throws you off, and that's the end of the story for you. There is no way you can jump off the tigers. There's a Chinese proverb. You keep riding. Because if you try to jump off, you are frightened that the tiger will gobble you. So there is no need for you even to jump off the tiger. That proverb is very misleading. The Chinese proverb. There is no need for you to jump off. So there is no question of the tiger gobbling. You keep riding and enjoy it. Isn't that enough? Thank you. Not enough. Any more questions? There is no such thing as peace, so there is no question of asking myself, am I at peace with myself?
But you're riding the tiger.
No, I'm not frightened of riding the tiger. Somebody put me on the tiger. Not of my own free will and volition. So the tiger does not frighten me.
So what do we do with our lives?
What are you doing is my question.
Nothing in eating.
Is there anything more than that? The moment
I'm
you
happy
ask,
with what I'm doing.
the moment you ask the question, is that all? You have created the problem. You have created this room for exploitation, religious exploitation. Is that all? That's all. Then this is not a bore. There is no boredom here. Unless you want something better, something interesting. There is no end to that boredom. It is that they are exploiting. Providing us with some religious stuff.
There's no message why do you encourage people to talk to you?
Have I encouraged you?
No, you should say
I'm
I'm
not
not
encouraging.
why did you go home?
Go home. That's also your religious idea. If you have nothing else to say to man, get nothing more to say, nothing to say.
Yeah.
You go and live in a cave. This, I belong here. What will I do there?
People are expecting you to say something.
They expect it is their tragedy, it's their misery.
Isn't he saying a lot?
Huh?
Isn't he saying a lot?
Why are they listening to me? You should ask them. Why do they come, sit here, hours and hours and hours, listen to me, and at the end they think that they are very intelligent by throwing a question at you. Why am I talking? You know? Because of the frustration that they don't get anything. On the other hand, they should stand up and go to some guru who is selling something. Ice packs, but there is a fire. They don't want to touch this fire. It burns the whole thing. They will go to somebody who is selling ice packs. Comfort themselves. They are selling comfort. Value.
Make us feel more secure.
In the long run, it is more painful than what actually it is. Temporarily you get this. And so they thrive on the gullibility and credibility of the people. Try and buy one Rolls Royce car. What do you think you can get 91 Rolls Royce? Because the fool there who stands in the rain, he is the one that is contributing, waiting for the bus. The dirt, filth, lashes on his clothes. He denies himself and keeps it there. Because he is selling you some hope. He's giving you a Valium. That's what you want. But once you have a Valium, you want more and more. 60 milligrams, not enough. I'm not asking anybody to come and listen. There is a danger if I continue to do this. I would consider I'm not unwittingly I am a participant in this kind of thing. That's why I have chosen the medium of the press, and they are not here to get anything. The fellow who is interviewing me on the television there is only that is a very successful. So somebody probably listens to this raving maniac, raving. If something hits him and sees on his own. What I tell the people is, throw away your crutches. You can walk. If you fall, you will rise. Don't ask me to give a hand. You can walk. So don't fall for these fashionable crutches, light crutches, fancy crutches, computerized crutches. That's all they are selling. And they are selling, they are all in the narcotic business, all the political.
So you do as a message.
No, that is not a
Say
message.
that be on your own. That's what I said.
Be on your own, you see. They are not going to help you. If you think they are going to help you, good luck to you. See, I am not here to save anybody from any guru or save you.
But you seem to be rather against religious gurus and religion as such.
See, because it has done immense harm, it is that is going to destroy everything. Anything that is born, all the political ideologies are born out of the religious thinking. The religious thinking is born out of the fear, the separation from the whole life around us. There is no way you can become civilized. They have a vested interest in it. It's easy for them to live that kind of a life at the expense of us all. Easily. So that is why I said half the people on this planet live on belief. Because we want to believe and we need to believe. That is exploited by the fellow who is selling us some belief and something. We are responsible for it. There is no reason for you to feel sad about, miserable about this. Why do we allow ourselves to be conned by this? If you are likely to be free from that, you are not interested in saving the world from con. We can handle these con men, but not those con men.
But you want to save the people from the convent.
No,
Religious
not
convent.
at all, not at all. Neither from the spiritual convent, nor the convent we have created in our society. It's an extension of the same. If they are selling us peace on the shelf, it's no different from what they sold us. Maya, that's the place. The world. This is the world, this is the only reality. Like anybody else. I don't know what truths I have. We need truths. That's what the education is all about. They provide us with the truths. But this tool I don't want. The tool of exploiting the people. Their gullibility and ignorance. Because I grew up in the church. I don't call them hypocrites. It's their privilege. If you allow yourself to be fooled by them, it's your privilege. So I'm not here to save them from the other gurus or save this guru. If somebody comes to me and says, this is the situation. If you want to look at it, look at it. If you don't want, it's your privilege. Is that enough?
You seem to be especially angry.
I'm not angry.
Okay. Adverse reactions against you to Krishnamurti. Why is that?
He's dead, so I don't want to say anything about it. He claimed himself to be something different, superior to everybody else. Made noise for 60 years in this world. What is the result of it? He left an organization and a real estate worth $80 million. It's already mentioned there in your magazine, Society. That's all. Another real estate. People can make a living on it. How can a man who is not free create an atmosphere of freedom? No.
What are the schools?
I don't believe in such schools. I don't believe in schools at all. Any school that talks of creating an atmosphere of freedom and define education as an instrument to bring things in and out of you is not worth bothering. That's only for the rich people. How many people can afford to spend $1,000 a month? So what we need in this world, institutions will provide us with the tools to survive in this world. Why you are looking at me, sir? I am a peace-loving man.
Jokes.
Such a There's an organization he is running, Ajnana Ashram. He calls it Jnana Ashram. Ajnana Ashram. Only ajnanis go there. Otherwise, how can I get
That's why you entered there.
Huh?
That's why you entered.
Yes, I'm an ajnani. He's my best friend. He brought me to Bangalore.
Introduced you to so many people.
So many people. Any more questions?
Yes, yes, got that.
Just psychic powers, that's what the book said.
The book, what book said? Book?
Mind in it.
I've gone through that book.
Does it make any sense? No.
Good.
That's what you have to say. It doesn't make any sense.
No, but what was the introduction part of that?
Introduction, somebody else wrote. I don't even know what is there in those books. I'm illiterate, I cannot write. You come and ask questions, I talk. You must have noticed by now that I don't complete the sentences. My grammar is bad, syntax is bad, everything is bad.
Did you read?
No, I read only Time magazine. Once a week to know what's happening in this world. All my opinions, that is the source of information. If you say that that's horrible, I don't think it is. Probably you read Newsweek and your opinions are formulated. They're reading Newsweek. So the discussion between the two people is between Time magazine and Newsweek or Times of India or Deccan.
Did you read in the newspaper?
I don't read daily newspaper. Once a week is enough to know what is happening. You pick up a magazine of 1939 and 1989. Only the words are different, but basically the story is the same. All the statements that these politicians
Do
make.
you know that the state of government doing that?
I have heard that I call him the weeping singer, just weeping there. Weeping singer.
They're trying to do something different.
Different.
They're doing it.
How long? Do you think as a journalist that you can save Kashmir? Why that killing is going on? I don't know.
I think they're trying to do
In
something.
the name of the unity of India, you are ready to kill people. If somebody murders somebody because he's trying to run away with my beauty, and you call him a murderer, and what happened to these murders? You and I collectively responsible for what is going on in Kashmir. If you support that. In the name of the unity of India, in the name of the heritage of India, we are individually responsible. Because we put those people, they frighten us if this country is broken into its different states. What's wrong? What is it that is common between me and my best friend Mahesh? But nothing. He is from Gujarat and what he eats I don't like, what he likes I don't like. He is North Indian music and he can understand. The moment you play South Indian music, he runs away from it. He is in that field. I tell you. He can't stand South Indian music. Why does he expect me to listen to that horrible Hindi music? Classical music. Why? I don't like his horrible food. He doesn't like my sambar and this.
You don't like his films,
I have never seen any films unless he forced me once, twice.
yet you like him.
No. Now why would I say these nice things about him? He's even going to write my biography about the penguins. I don't know what kind of a story he's going to tell. I don't know. There is no story to tell, that's what I'm saying.
He is going to create a story.
Yes, he's a
That is
film
his-
man.
that is
He's a film man, that's all right. Let him make some money.
You didn't want the book to read.
I have no voice, he signed it. How can I stop?
We're not talking to him.
Huh?
We're not talking to him. Don't talk to him. Don't tell him about the letter.
He knows a lot more than I do. That's the unfortunate thing.
Can't avoid talking to him.
Yeah, he really talks about it.
He is in
All
touch
the
with him
time.
every day. Every day he is in touch with him. Why?
No,
Let's
meeting.
He comes here.
It's coming tomorrow or the day after?
Yes, tomorrow.
Wednesday.
Tomorrow.
for the book.
No,
No,
he
no.
wants to spend a week. I'm
Comes.
leaving on the 26th.
And that's what he's here.
Otherwise he
Yeah,
talks to him on the telephone every day.
Not every day.
Almost every day.
I asked him about this, the new God in his life. He says, somebody brought that in the magazine. Because I'll be the first one to know if there is any sense. I don't care what word it is. You can have 100 words. Harem is a Muslim, all Muslim.
Why do you go from country to country?
I don't have any home. I'm a man with no fixed abode, with no tangible means of livelihood.
How do you live with?
I have a little money to take care of my travels. That sweet old lady created a fund for me to travel and live. Not much, just to survive. Otherwise, I will sit there under the mango tree, wait for the mangoes. I don't know what I will.
I got the view.
A mangoes he brought that nice friend, good friend. What's that? You are listening? Isn't that enough? What's your name when I ask you?
Me, Ratna. Yeah, I'm just sorry. What are you talking about?
No, that was before.
But I still
You
don't
can
understand.
ask any question.
Yeah.
Any
I
question?
still don't understand why you stay in Switzerland, America, America, and India.
The weather, you see, why do birds fly all the way from Siberia to your bird sanctuary in Mysore? I want to know. If I don't have any means, I don't collect funds, I don't have an organization, no foundation, no contributions for my travel. I still have a few friends who give me hospitality. Even here I am a guest of my friends. I don't have any home. I have never had any home. So I keep drop dead somewhere. That's it.
It suits you.
Huh?
This traveling
No,
suits you.
I have always been.
It suits you
I have
also.
ever since I was 14, actually, I have not lived in any place for 6 months at a stretch. I had a family like anybody else. They lived in one place. Based temporarily, same in America. I have never lived in one place. So I can't be restless after 60 years of wandering. This cannot be termed restlessness. My travels are not born of restlessness.
So
Weather decides, you see.
where do you stay in India?
Here lately I have been going to Delhi sometimes. I was there. So, you see, I'm avoiding all secrets sold on the media. Delhi is the media capital. Oh, yes.
Speaking also words.
Why you are taking record? Only for her use, not for us. I have
Rest is over.
what?
Because I feel scared now.
Why should you
Yeah, come here just to ask.
Yeah.
Sorry,
You can continue.
I happen to be here in the midst. I'm looking forward to seeing what you will make out of this. Then I will congratulate you. But don't present me as a guru, as a god man.
No, I won't.
That's all. Some raving maniac. Ignore it if you don't want. Why I say you are looking for a subject. I am available. Use me. You are a journalist.
Why did I just use you?
Why not? If not you, something else. See, the mosquitoes are using me, sucking my blood.
Switzerland. Human beings.
No, I'm not.
That's your interpretation.
Millions of bacteria, the fauna and the flora is using me. And so many things crawling all over our body. I saw a magnified bacteria crawling all over bodies. Magnified, and they look like cockroaches. So one form of life lives on another form. Inside you'll be surprised. Every time you breathe, you are killing millions and millions. No, let's not bother about that. Non-killing. In the name of non-killing,
Question is,
you kill more things.
Jivo
In the name
Jivasya
of-
Jivanam.
I know you have a quotation for everything.
Nasty survival.
Am I not upholding the great
Ayyo.
traditions of India?
Satyavachanam. Ashla Jayala.
If I am not upholding the great
Who else
traditions,
can do it?
I am a product of this culture. I am very proud of it.
That's it. That's it.
Trying to stay in India.
Why not stay in India?
Trying to stay.
I don't know. I have never identified myself with this country. My usual life say I have no particular feeling for India. I don't care for America. I am not fond of England. And I am indifferent to the rest of the world. I have seen every part of the world except China. For some reason I have never been attracted. My books have been translated, not my books, books have been translated into Chinese, into Russian, Japanese, name it all. Many European languages. Frankly, I don't even know what is there in those books.
They are so cautious. You can say no.
For purposes of communication, I can say it is science.
My books have been translated to Chinese. You say no harm.
No harm, I'm not.
Don't try to be so cautious. I'm saying.
I'm not cautious, I'm just making it very clear that I don't know what is there in those books.
Oh, that's
If I had a mission, my mission would be to tear apart every statement
yeah.
that is made in that book and throw
It
it.
is obsolete, sir.
It's obsolete. The moment I say something, it's obsolete. It's dead.
It is dead.
There
There is no
use
life.
recording all that listening to it. A dead thing cannot touch anything living. That the people don't understand. What I say, this moment is not true and valid for me, let alone for others. I am not making a profound statement. See, the moment you give expression, it's already dead. Because I use the language which is dead. So you may ask me the question, why you don't stay silent? That is more dangerous than talking. I tried this in some countries. Yes, people continue to stay sit around me.
How long can you stay?
And they went into all kinds of fantasies, energy outbursts, all kinds of things. And then I said to myself, better to talk. And let them indulge in such wonderful fantasies created by themselves. Sorry.
I said they'll
I
stay.
know this is also the traditional idea that if you have nothing to say, you should go into your cave and remain silent. Why? I'm here, I belong to this world, I'm part of this world. Somebody asks me a question, I answer simply. It doesn't. I don't go to America to save America, I don't come to India to save Indians. Wherever the airline tickets take me, I go there. The routing depends upon my travel agent. Just now he telephoned me saying that Air India cancelled all its flights to Amsterdam. So route me via Rome. That's all. Enough? Good, thank you. So what's your like to do? But see that I am not presented to your readers. I don't even know whether they will get any idea from this. If you can make something out of it, good.
No headache of listening to him.
What?
No headache of listening to him.
What little headache she had is miraculous. This noise. How can you have it? I made a lot of noise. This is no press interview.
It's only a lecture, sir. It's not an interview.
What interview? What interview? It's a monologue.
It's a lecture.
It's
Isn't
bound.
it?
Listen.
Huh?
No
It's a
dialogue.
classroom lecture, nice topic, plus you once there, how they student.
No. It's bound to be a monologue. How can there be a dialogue? So Kushwant Singh sat there for 30 minutes.
What's your daily routine?
Daily routine, I sit here, eat the same thing every day. It's monotonous. From your point of view, it's the... Huh?
You can't take a spoon of it. This
What?
one.
Yeah, what does he eat?
Bland, tasteless.
Very bland, tasteless. The same thing day after day, day after day. Even those who feed me are disgusted. Same thing you eat. I eat just enough to keep this body going. Body needs energy. There is no special job in starving this body. If you stop eating, it eats on its own resources and goes. What's that?
What about reading? Like, you said
I
you
don't
write.
read. I'm illiterate.
You write.
Doesn't know even alphabets.
What is there to read. Everything tells you what you should do, what you should not do. Show me one book. Except the technical, except the
You can read for
technical.
entertainment.
Huh?
You can read for entertainment.
Entertainment, I can entertain myself in some other way.
Without reading.
The noise is entertaining me, the mosquito is entertaining me, the cockroach there, the toilet is entertaining. Because she found a cockroach, I'm sorry to quote him, but it's going to be quoted until something else comes. She found a cockroach in her toilet. She came running down to ask me what should I do with the cockroach. That is all our spiritual thing. You know. I said, you take it out and put it away. That's all, that's the end of the story. Out of that concern for that dying cockroach, all the wars have spoken. All the thinking, that is the source. One who is interested in saving a cockroach will destroy the whole world in the name of peace, in the name of God, in the name of water, patriotism, love to your country. Name it.
So even a good action is dangerous according to you.
See, to me, you may not agree with me as a doctor, all your kindly deeds are responsible for cardiac arrest.
Cardiac arrest.
Yes.
Ramachandra.
How can you say doctor is not useful? How can you say doctor is not useful?
Doctors are useful for sick people.
They have a...
Yes. We have them. I don't know if I am sick, I probably don't know. I have been sick for almost 40 years. What's wrong with me? I don't see. Anybody who is interested in health food is already sick. Good food, sick. The sick man is concerned about
Balanced
health.
diet, nourishing food.
Yeah.
Shoot all those nutritionists on site and site. For a vegetarian, I don't eat vegetables. What's wrong with me? I don't eat fruits. 90% of my intake is no different from the sawdust. The curry powder I use is like the glue. I'm not joking. I don't recommend this food to anybody. I have survived. I'm 72. What's wrong with me?
It cannot be taken as an example.
I'm not recommending. You're already sick.
No person can follow you.
You are a sick man. That's why you are worried about health food all the time.
Take from the regular food, we take our own regular food.
Take it, whatever.
You want
I'm not
sambar
recommending
and
this.
You don't like it, that's all the difference.
That's if you put it on that level
Ah,
and don't introduce any religious element into it or health.
this is very religious.
What is this?
Yeah,
Yamajapa they are
nothing
not.
religious and not having oil. I want to eat less oil. It's not because of religious reason.
For health reasons, which is no different from the religious thing.
I don't like it, that's all.
Yeah.
Not religious
Yeah,
anything.
I mean, yeah.
You like cream,
I
I like
like
coffee,
oil, yeah,
that's
I
all
don't like oil.
different.
I drink
Just
two pints of cream, solid cream, double cream.
I can't.
That's my food.
I take coffee, that's all.
That's it. You see,
Then
one man's food is another man's
Poison.
So even there, the language. It talks of man, what about the woman? 50% of people living on this planet have been destroyed, denied the possibility of their contributing intelligence. They are more intelligent than men, women. I'm not a feminist, I'm not talking in that sense, you see. Horrible things that you have done. Destroyed the possibility of their contributing something meaningful and useful to this man. Why do you say one man's food is another man's poison? Your language is so structured that you are more important than the book. Not only here, everywhere in the world. The whole language structure is born out of the arrogance that he is more important than the book. So you turn all women into doormats. You are responsible.
Why do you think something to change?
Change
the language and structure.
Yeah, you can create a new
But
language.
you and I can get together to do something.
What for?
You see,
Chairperson you want to say. Why chairperson, chairman, chairwoman? It's simple. Why do you want to create a new language? Chairperson.
people have to be told.
Yes, it will change. It will change. The woman will assert it, of course. Not through feminist movements and all that kind of thing. Probably it can create some
What?
impetus. Bring about a change. You believe that nonsense that woman is made from the rib of a man? That Bible says. You believe that Jesus was born A Virgin Mary. If you believe that, you can believe anything. You can believe that all politicians separate, create a paradise on this earth. That I suppose. Thank you.
Nana published the book.
He reviewed the book, Thomas. And so by
Lecture,
that was 10 years ago.
Julie, would you like to sit here?
No. Okay, thanks.
Basically, these 10 years I have picked up few words, phrases. My source is Time Magazine. What is your source? Time Magazine, refer to. I have no originality, I claim no originality. I don't have any thoughts of my own, not one. You can claim any thoughts? No. Not one. Alright, thank you.
Talk to them, please.
No, talk. I never initiate anything
No, goes on wrong. Everything on the face of
from disease to divinity. I have lot of opinions like anybody else. So you are not going to win me over to your point of view. That's your point of view. It's easy way for this people. That's your opinion, yes. But what about yours? That's the end of the dialogue. That's it. I am not, the difference is you are interested in winning me over to your point of view. I am not interested. You are not going to win me over to your point of view. If we agree and accept that these are 2 points of view, there is no way. It's a logic.
No further dialogue.
The logic you use is the instrument of power. The language you use is the instrument of power. Knowledge is power. You know, I don't know. No? Accept that simple thing. Now we will all be finished. I show you this word power. Tremendous job there. 180,000 words, 180,000 words, 250,000 antonyms and synonyms. You have seen those words. What is so important about you? It spells for you, it corrects your grammar, it corrects your syntax. Yes, you don't misspell the word. This is the right spelling. What about you? Now they have these. Unfortunately, I wanted to buy that very expensive 350, but the Japanese pronunciation. I don't want to learn English in Japanese. If you are the word finder, I have one answer. We are no different from that. So mechanical. Stop that nonsense, Manava Janma. You and I are. Said Durlabha Manava Janma. You are here and then came and asked. I am very frivolous, one religious man. You tell them.
What do you tell? You don't know spike, correct?
Yes.
Vasudeva, professor, philosophy, university, retired. He took up the China mission congregation. He came here, he was training so many students. And one professor, Ramakrishna, was also invited to give a lecture. So they were talking, he said, one beauty he said is equal to Ramana Maharshi. That Ramakrishna made this statement. So the whole gang came here to see. He said, Ramana. And was there talking something and suddenly, why am I here?
Why was I born?
Why was I born? He said, it's simple, you being a person to ask me that question.
Your parents made love.
Love is
What is
hard.
He got up and
Became very furious. Man like Ramana, introduced as a Ramana, making such a silly statement.
it's a realistic statement, factual statement. What do you want me to tell him? Manava Janma Durlabha. And give a long discourse. That you are
You must
created.
elaborate on that and say how it is Durlabha and how it is sacred, how it is good, and what is to be done as a man, and how life is sacred. All these things.
Yes, I see that life is sacred. I know. How sacred
life, I said, not you or anybody. Sir. Life is
Nothing sacred. Why do you introduce the element of sacredness to life?
Life is
Exploitation. You exploit us.
the sacred, you can't exploit.
What is so sacred about it? I want to know what is so sacred.
There is no word other than exploitation.
Come on, yeah, that's all.
That's all.
Nothing else. Your memory is better than mine, so what?
So much the better for you.
Yeah, now you don't need to feel good, pat on your backs and tell yourself that you know a lot more than I do. I just press the button, the computer.
You can afford to have that. You can't have that.
Yeah. Then it's your
You
library.
pattern yourself so that you got the machine to change, do that job. That's all.
Why do I need your help and make you feel good about that? You feel good. Do good at silence. Do good at
Silence.
Do good at silence. You feel good. You help a giving hand to an old woman trying to cross the street. Why should that woman first come out? She should stay at home.
Yes, come. Do it and forget it and go.
You talk about it in
Why
great
do you
institutions.
talk about it?
You
Do that
do.
job and quite go away.
You do.
You can't claim anything about it.
No, you are claiming.
Nah.
You have helped poor women crossing the road. Why you have created voice notes? Brownies. You do good. The result is your heart
Old
fails.
women in tennis shows come and listen to you.
No,
They
no.
feel hard to get down
Or
the
he feels.
staircase. So what? You have to help. Is it not?
Now a robot will do the job.
No, robot is cast this you can't.
You don't want to accept this. It's not even a good
Robot is
robot.
doing
Robot,
everything.
you
We
can't.
just want to do it, that's all.
Just do it. You see,
That's all.
they are performing operations now, the robots. And then
Yeah, correct.
why do we need you?
So robot, you can't
You
purchase,
make me
you can't
dependent.
tell.
You make me
Sir,
dependent.
you are not
Because
that. I
money is
mean,
available now, so we will do it.
you are not even that much rich as you have to purchase robot. You can purchase. You can't. Therefore,
If you stop all this religious nonsense, building temples and Teresa stuff and all that kind of thing, that money will be available for creating robots within the easy reach
we
of
don't want
Buddhist
robots, sir.
men.
It will be
That's
better
the
than
problem.
That's
robots.
right. Oh, yes.
I don't want to
It
depend
will be
upon
better.
you.
This is better than
It is disgraceful that you see those girls are working here even today. Huh? It is everything wrong there.
instead of robot. You want to.
Why? No, this. It's
That's
degrading.
how
It is
to be
degrading.
spent and bring robot.
I feel this is miserable.
And to get that money, you degrade so many people. So why bother?
You can do
To
anything.
get that money, you want to degrade so many people and get that money to purchase a robot or to
Not at all, not at all. It's,
Then why
you can
money
save
comes?
giving money to the temple, to the holy
Yeah.
land. Use that.
After all, a rupee rate, and I said,
Come on, you spend 60% of your, I don't know what is your national, what do you call that? For defense. Defense against whom? If Bhutan invades this country, you will not be able to protect this country again. Bhutan is not going to invade this country unless it has the backing of some superpower. And why are you saying protection against me? You call me a terrorist and you will destroy me. Huh?
That has to be done now.
That has to be done good. Do it. It's no loss to me and no loss to mankind. Mankind will most probably be better off. Because you don't want to hear the facts as they are. Yes. Exactly the way they are.
Swallow the pills that they are distributed to swallow.
Am I not expounding
Ayyappa, yes, Satyavacana.
the cause of Hinduism, upholding the great
Great tradition. Up.
That is the great
Up.
tradition. Listen, that's the great tradition of India. Yes. Like every teacher destroyed everything
Complete.
that existed.
Yes, that's the beauty.
But you can't.
That is Sampradaya.
That is your great tradition.
That is our Sampradaya. Correct.
Agrees?
100. That is the way it should go on. Otherwise, it stinks. It becomes better water.
Then why you are still selling Sankara?
Even a man called Yuji is tolerated.
Huh?
Even a man called Yuji is tolerated, sir.
Tolerated by Hinduism. That's
Yes.
it. If I said these things,
That's good, Radha.
It is in tolerance even Yuji.
Then,
India.
that is the greatness, glory.
That is the
Our
glory of
tradition.
India. What is the glory you are talking about?
Even tolerating these things.
Look at the poverty of India. 40 years you have been free. Huh?
We should go to US once and see what The differences.
Not
They
necessarily.
have worse
All those people are
slums
here.
there.
I've seen so many.
Compared to the slums in New York and Chicago,
Oh.
slums can be considered as a paradise. What's that?
There are no place you want to throw the waste people.
That is why should you have
Should we do
a
something about it? Shameful sharing as individuals or journalists.
They are the ones who are talking of changing. I am not talking of changing. So don't ask me why you don't do something. I have not set myself up, you see, on a pedestal. Here I am an avatar, I have come to save the world. Not at all. I am not interested in saving individuals. They are the ones who come and tell me. One fellow, very well-fed fellow, so asked me a question, you see, after eating a very sumptuous meal, he wanted to discuss starvation in the world. It's a joke. He has no business to discuss the starvation problem of starvation with me. He was not starving, I am not starving. They are the ones to deal with the problem. They have to blow us all up because of your karma theory, rebirth theory. Even today you call it as the prarabdha. It's a joke. And you will promise him food in his next life. What are you talking? In the meantime, he is starving and he is dead. I am not interested in that culture of yours. At least this is human, not religious. Everybody has, you see, a right to share what is there, you see, created by nature, not by you and me. And what is their policeman for? What is the army there for? You have entrenched yourself in the seat of power and you deny the basic things. Huh? The basic needs. It is inhuman. Not oneness of life, unity of life. I am not interested in it at all. I am not asking you to give up anything. What is there for you to share? Sharing is caring. You can start a Salvation Army. Sharing is caring. What do I have to share? Thanks.
You can share our food maybe.
Denying yourself one meal, you are not going to solve the problem.
Just a very
It makes
Mother Teresa got the sugar gun.
Now she got a Nobel Prize. Her only interest is to collect money and leave behind some filthy organization.
But she has
So what?
she's done something.
For her own self-aggrandizement, I'm sorry. For her own
Post
self.
Nobel Prize, she never did it for the sake of Nobel Prize.
I don't
You
think all
post Nobel Prize.
By giving Nobel Prize, you have destroyed.
That is your folly.
No.
That's all.
Since you
Having a whole, you can't expect one person to do everything.
why should she? Why should others do
See, that's
it?
what I'm saying. Why we should go out and do something.
But you do it. You see, you don't need the Mother
Yeah, Mother
Teresa.
Teresa is true.
You don't have to belong to that organization.
Yes.
Now it's nothing but politics there. Jockeying for places. Huh? That's all that I'm saying. She may not. The fact that she has accepted a Nobel Prize destroyed the very cause she wanted.
That I agree.
All her life.
That I agree. That part I agree.
Yes.
This
Now
is
she's
a statement I
interested in
agree.
visiting
She had
the
no
heads-
business to accept it. She would have
Visiting
come
the
out.
heads of the
I am not
states.
done for this and thank you and walk out.
Live your own life your way, die and finish. That's it.
You want to be remembered by posterity.
That's right.
Huh?
Bring it there.
No, I'm not referring to this particular individual. Teresa.
No? Yeah.
No, we don't need it, Judy.
Okay.
Enough, you have 70 hours of video tape.
Okay.
What 70 hours? More than so I think 700 hours.
70. Nightmare. It's a nightmare to make 1 hour documentary.
Okay.
The BBC also interested in the documentary. My husband has signed it. To write the book and also make a document.
Has been condensed.
Maybe channel.
That's
My
what we talked
actually
about.
ordained. What do you call it?
Very quiet.
What?
Some things are personal.
Your interview will be there forever.
Which one?
What you said.
That is gone, sir.
It is not gone. I have the
I
copy.
erased it.
I have the copy. Don't forget that. I'm not a fool.
Really? But
Whatever
where is
else-
it?
I have
Steal
it.
and take it. Come on. No, I can't leave it there.
Whatever
That
else
should
I
not
may
be.
or may not be, I'm not a fool.
Now, is that not again due to fear?
You said it.
Said
He
what?
wants to sue me for destroying him. I am not destroying him. Have I succeeded in destroying? I have no illusion.
Anyhow, our advocate is going to take a
He said you have no case
Finally.
because you have no way of collecting the damages.
Because there is no money. Very clever, you know. Nothing keeps in his
I'm
name.
a poor
So that
Indian.
to claim damages, that's the trouble.
Poor Indian.
You are poor, I don't know. Who is rich? Yeah. Sad.
You drop him into the well and you ask him, how do you do?
Correct, Vijay.
But ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ but no, the idea is he wants you to come up by yourself, that's all.
That's what he's already said. You fall down and you'll rise. Unless you fall down, you rise.
He wants you to come up. That you don't know. That you don't know. You think that he has done you wrong. No, he has done you good.
You need not go down, need not come up.
He has done you good. He does you good. That's the
I'm not frightened. So if you are frightened, you emit odors. And so that cobra has to take the first step. But you kill hundreds and thousands of cobras for what? And thereby you create an opportunity for the field mice to have a field day. So your crops are destroyed by killing cobras. It is not destroyed.
That's what happened in the Amazon and South America.
Everywhere.
Rats.
You destroy one fellow because he is cutting a tree to have a shelter over his head. And what about the timber lords there?
See, nature's balance.
What nature's balance? Don't talk of nature. Nature can take care of itself.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't need your help and my help. We need help. We are in danger. Problems created by us.
Yes, I'll help you, sir.
If we are wiped out, we will be recycled by nature. You think it cares for your culture, your civilization? It is that.
It has no sympathy, sir.
What
It has
sympathy?
only no rewards for you.
What sympathy?
Punishment.
Nature is very slow. It doesn't reward. Nature does not reward us if we function within the limits of law. Nature, it punishes us. It's only man-made law that rewards you and punishes. Right? Huh?
Satyavachana.
Do you know anything about nature's laws? Anything you discover, you use it for destruction. It may give us a little benefit here. But in the long run, everything that is thought, everything that is born out of thought is destructive. So religious thinking is born out of our thoughts and it is very destructive. God is born out of your fear, so you use God for destructive purposes. Whether God exists or not is not our problem. We leave it to the theologians to discuss everlasting, the cosmological, the teleological, the ontological proofs of the existence of God. We are not interested in that. He is irrelevant. God is irrelevant. No? You have not been much of a moral.
Sir, you are pervious as also impervious.
I don't know. That's a very profound statement. I don't understand.
You are
What,
pervious as also impervious.
I don't know what it means. Don't make such profound.
What?
Didn't understand.
Make a shade for pain.
He is stone deaf, so he didn't hear anything.
What did you say? You.
He is pervious as also impervious.
Well,
What he's done.
that's rising above. That's
I don't know what you mean. That's what I
That's rising above the pair of opposites. That's rising above the pair of opposites. Be and yet not be.
Boy, oh boy, man, oh man. Where? You live in Bangalore?
Where did you pass your journalism?
Cha.
Let's.
Where?
University of Oklahoma.
Hare Ram.
Went there just to study, or your parents were there? Just to study.
When was it?
81.
So long are you in Bangalore?
He was Vasant's castmate, it seems. Her husband. He was Vasant's classmate. Her husband. Her husband told me about it. Ah, I see. Who was your professor?
Bashir. Bashir was there.
Vasant, nephew.
Vasant
Vasant's son.
Dr. Sheshgir. Cardiac specialist.
Yeah, no, it's cancer.
Cancer, sir.
He's the right one for us.
At least a certificate. Still certificate. So if not anything else, doctor,
We need you.
we need your certificate at the end.
Need
You
you-
died at
No.
died
You
at-
see, it is fashionable for all these saints, sages to die of cancer these days.
Yes.
So
So
you
I'm asking my
Liver,
friend,
liver or pancreas?
someone saying
Or nerve?
in some statement
any
you died of
person
cancer.
can- If when I die,
Yeah.
if I die of any other cause other than cancer,
You'll not be
the
put in that
certificate
line.
will be that I died of cancer. Otherwise, I will not be
Considered as a saint.
as a spiritual teacher.
I attended on Ramana Maharishi's cancer.
You see, there he is. Nothing. You ask him about it.
So what was the story like? What was the situation and what was the event? Can you please describe it?
What do you
Cancer
mean? He
operation.
developed a sarcoma of the nerve here.
Yeah.
And doctors went there, we went in a team and examined, investigated, suggested a treatment they refused. They asked him, do you feel any pain?
But he didn't say that he didn't feel the pain.
No, I'm not bothered, he said.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Whether
right.
it's
Just listen. Then
Yes.
So we just made a couple of visits and all. So,
did you do any operation?
No, that was the end of it.
He refused, yes. You see,
People say
no, that is the story, sir. The world is full of such stories. I'm not bothered, he said. That's the right answer. You know. That's all that I'm saying.
Perception you can't avoid.
Like nobody, we take credit of being a redeemer of the world. Nobody has
That's
this in
not the
it.
point. You see, these pain sensations are intermittent. There is no continuity there. By linking them up, see, you create a continuous pain and more active than what actually is. But there is no special charm in bearing pain to prove that you can endure pain either for spiritual reasons or for any other reasons. That's all that I'm saying. The only fear that is there is the physical pain. What it is, we really don't know. You can give lectures on the history and the meaning of pain.
No, that was people's interpretation. He never said anything about it. He never said anything about his cancer. All he said was, I'm not bothered. I mean, get lost.
That's
Basically,
all.
that's what he
That's
put
all.
it in way.
That's all.
Yeah, I mean, he conveyed it in a very polite manner, perhaps.
If I pinch you, you don't feel the pain.
Yeah.
But
Supposing I
The
pinch
physical body is there.
pinch you.
It's simple.
You pinch me, I pinch you. That's it. Boy, you think you're very clever.
Yes, I'm just asking. I'm just a normal, simple.
So am I.
No, people say that you're something other than normal. And abnormal and phenomenal. I don't know.
People say
So I'm just asking
I don't
which
say
whether
that.
you. Because you said, I don't know whether I got the body. It's only a thought. So that if that is so, then
I'm
you
talking about you, not me.
Oh, I see.
In your case too. Because you are the one who is asking questions.